Madhviji, why is the Guru Shishya Parampara or learning from the Guru Mukh so important? And what, in that context, what would you say about institutionalized teaching?
Uh, well, in present times, it's difficult for any guru to have somebody stay with them. You know, the houses are small. Nobody is supporting the gurus. Earlier, the children were taught free. The student and they did house chores and they did all other kinds of seva for a guru. We can't expect that of anybody now, and it's not possible for. So we have the times have changed. So within an institution, like we do at the Vidyalaya, that we see the students' capability, and if they have that possibility of blossoming into soloists, then we pick them up and then give them special training. So there is that one-to-one, and there is within an institutionalized frame. If you see all the gurus, Vempati sir, Guruji, they all had to form an institute. They could have easily, gone on with it. It was not possible. So that is the only way out now. But you still have that. You have to have that teacher, guru, giving you the direct input. But the gurus must also surrender themselves completely, which is not happening.
What do you mean that the Gurus have to say?
No, the student has to have complete faith in their guru. When they come to learn, nowadays the attitude is of questioning every single thing. But like my generation of teachers, I don't call myself a guru. We do teach and we encourage that questioning, but not just when you begin, when will I learn, what is this, and trust the guru. They will take you to a stage where you can ask those questions.
So what are the teachings that you have taken, like the key teachings which you've taken from your Guru, technique wise or even in life, or what would you say कि गुरु जी से मतलब आपको नृत्य तो पूरा गुरु जी ने दिया,
Guruji was a perfectionist in anything he did, whether it was building his house brick by brick, whether he did makeup for his students, tying their dhoti, tying their ghungroos, every single aspect was dealt with to the ultimate end. Stage sajana, musicians ko dekhna, everything he did, he was a perfectionist. So I think I have imbibed that whatever you take on, especially in terms of stage, you have to think of everything and do it yourself. It's easy to instruct, अच्छा जरा stage साफ कर दो, नहीं होता है. You have to either do it yourself or actually be there and get it done. So that thing I think I have from Guruji, that everything has to be looked into, every detail has to be, cared for, and then something might result in something nice.
Talking of details, I would like to present an observation that one when looks at the details of Odissi now, it's what is your comment on that on the statement that Odissi is lurking towards more folkish elements than and is reducing the classicism?
What I feel, and it may or may not be true, that when Guruji and that generation of gurus were reviving this form, it was not even known as Odissi at that time. They were trying to cull in elements, the classical elements from our literature, from the text, literary texts, from the sculpture, from classical sculpture, from classical literature, from classical music, and making the form complete as we have it today, as we have inherited it. But now I find that it's going back to more folk roots. So it's, of course you can look into folk roots for inspiration to combine in your classical way, but you can't copy folk steps in your dance, folk elements in your, so it's becoming more folkish. I mean, one very big example is that the Gotipas are becoming very sophisticated Odissi dancers, and Odissi dancers are becoming more
And why do you
folkish or
think
good.
this shift is happening? Why? For what reason?
I think one reason is more this of looking, going back to your roots, which is fine because it's more Odia Karan, I would say. You know, like in the south, it's more Bharatanatyam, more Tamil. It was all Telugu padams. They're now going more into, even older texts, Sangam literature and all. So that kind of trend, but that can be, done in a very sophisticated manner. So aesthetics, personal drishti is what is required.
Okay. So emerging from the point of view of drishti, what do you think is the national cultural drishti which the government has towards Indian classical arts? Because as we were discussing that the classical arts which we see nowadays were revived in the 50s with this feeling of nationalism. Then it continued on in the 60s, 70s and 80s where India wanted to create an image of itself, so cultural policy was a very strong thing which was looked into. Where do you find classical arts now, and who's pushing it? What is the motivation which will push it further? Is it just the corporates, or I mean, how will classical arts survive
Yeah, it's
basically?
difficult because we can't expect the government to do the support. It has to come from the society. Their interest, the corporate world has a lot of responsibility because they are the ones who have money now. But you need that drishti to support the right things, to create the right atmosphere for it to prosper in the meaningful way. So that policy is needed, and we should not expect government to do everything, because once they do it, it is not in the hands of artists or with that drishti. There may be some bureaucrats who have that drishti, but generally, and I don't think in the art you can bring in democratic process. There are some artists, you can't say that, okay, some outstanding artists, if they have to be sent abroad, it should not be after 4 years, after, that, I mean, excellence should be looked at, and not just, when your cue comes. And I think that is a big problem, and then we have a lot of mediocrity.
Uh-huh. So, talking of challenges, what is your comment on when I say that classical art, learning or watching, both, like being a rasika of a classical art and also learning a classical art, is can only be done by elite people?
No, I think appreciation of when you sing in Bengal or Maharashtra, one small village, there's a big audience who know and who are learned. They are learned in the arts. So what does it mean? It's not the rich few who elite in sensitivity, I would say. People with sensitivity, it's not, classical arts are not not as popular as, Bhimsen Joshi ji was not as popular as Lata Mangeshkar. It's not to say that Lata Mangeshkar is not a great artist, but it has a different appeal, So classical arts cannot have that mass appeal. It has to be a cultivated audience, and rasikas also have to give in. Today's culture, everything is thrown at them. They have to make no effort at learning or going deeper into. So that's why you have what you have.
But is learning classical art an expensive affair?
Not necessarily. And those who deserve to be are taught free, completely free.
What are the practical advices you'd like to give to the younger upcoming generation?
I'm nobody to advise anybody, but if I have to say something to young people, it's that they have to pursue it with sincerity over a long period of time and not seek results immediately. This is something which takes time, it just takes time. You may have the best of talent, you still need to hone it, you still need to cultivate it, you still need to, be at it to come to a certain level. I think 12 to 15 years of initial learning is when you start to learn. Then you realize what you're learning. And then if you're lucky to find a good guru, then you can branch out on your own.
Thank you so much, Madhuri.
Thank you.
With this, we conclude our interview.
Thank you.